Hey guys, welcome to another video. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we are building over in Willow Creek in The Sims 4. This lot is Brook Bungalow and it is a 40 by 30 lot. I don't build on this lot I don't know if I ever have, to be totally honest. I don't build on a lot of 40 by 30 lots just because of how big they are, and even lesser so, I will build on a 50 by 50, but it does happen. I do build on these every once in a while, and this build is one of those days. I actually really like the way this build turned out. It has quite a bit of yard left over for you guys to do what you want with. It feels very realistic to me and not super cramped like a lot of my other builds are. And I also really enjoy the outside style of this house as well. I know it is really just a typical suburban, but it looks a little bit more realistic than some of the Suburbans that I do, and I'm not really sure what makes it look that way. I think it is the windows I'm using on the top floor. It's like those pass-through style windows, and I don't know, the style up there just kind of reminds me of like an 80s suburban house, and I'm not sure why. And this is not an 80s theme whatsoever, but it just kind of reminds me of that, you know? I also really like how I did the garage, and there is the second story on top of it with a couple of like wall pop-outs. I really enjoy that. That's another piece that looks a little bit more realistic to me than some of the houses that I do. And this really did turn out to be a pretty large family home, so there ended up being 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Of course, one of the bedrooms is a master bedroom for the parents, and of course has its own bathroom. And then there are 4 other bedrooms that I furnished for children of different ages. We have a teenager, we have 2 kids, and then we have an infant. And of course, if you like this house and you want to download it and you don't have that many kids in game, then you could totally like refurnish any of the bedrooms. There's one that's kind of on the smaller side that I have the infant in that would honestly be perfect for an at-home office or maybe even an at-home gym, even though the garage I furnished as an at-home gym, but it totally is up to you. And if you end up having more children, or you have maybe a grandparent living in your household, what I like to do is actually refurnish the garage and maybe add some flooring in there and some wall paint and make that into a separate like bedroom. And I find it really fascinating to do that for some reason, especially for like teenagers that might be about to grow into young adults, and it kind of gives them their own space, so to speak. And so that's just a couple of ideas that you guys could do to make this house fit your household. So we pretty much have the structure of the house put together. I do have green paneling at the moment, but as you could probably tell from the thumbnail, I do end up changing that to like a beige or tan paneling. I just think it fit the house so much better. And I do leave the flower boxes on the windows as this pinkish purple swatch. I don't use this swatch very often, but I knew since I was using this dark brown privacy fence all around the house that I was going to want to use the purple hydrangeas because I think those just go so good together. They just match perfectly. Something about the purple flowers with the brown fence just looks really pretty to me in The Sims. And I know that those flower boxes don't really 100% match the purple hydrangeas or really any other flower in the game, which is very unfortunate. I've tried matching several different ones and I don't find honestly any. I didn't find any. And so if you know of any flowers that match those flower boxes, let me know down below, but I don't think I have seen any that really match 100%. So it drives me kind of crazy because I do have a slight case of OCD, if we're being honest, and I do like things to be like a particular way, but I really wanted to use them finally in a build, and so I decided to look the other way and pretend that I didn't see that they were off a little bit, you know? Maybe more than a little bit, but you know what? It's fine. It's just a build in The Sims. It'll be fine. And honestly, it might be a little bit more realistic that way anyways, because unless you put the exact same flowers in the flower boxes as you have in the rest of the yard, it's not gonna match anyways, so I figured it's fine. It was worth doing so that I could use those pretty purple flower boxes. Pinkish purple, it's really like a magenta almost. I almost did the yellow like I always do, but since, like I said, I always use the yellow, I had to change it up this time because I'm getting tired of doing the same kind of, I guess, swatches and the same design on a lot of my houses, and so I tried to switch it up this time. I just really love the yellow swatch and how like bright and cheerful it is, so it's always my go-to, and honestly it's quite easy to match with different colors. Like I feel like it matches with almost anything, and I cannot say the same for these magenta flowers, and same with the red. It's kind of hard to match the red too. And then of course the white is easy, it literally matches anything, but it's just not as like bright and cheerful as like the yellow or even the pink or the red. And the blue literally looks white to me, so I don't love to use the blue just because it's hard to tell the difference between that and the white. I wish they would have made the blue the same blue as the hydrangeas are. You know, the blue hydrangeas. I wish they would have made the flower boxes similar, or even like the other blue flowers in the game. Like those big circular flower bushes I use a lot of. Those have a blue that look more blue than the flower boxes too. Not as vibrant as the hydrangeas, but you can still tell they're blue. I wish they would have done the exact same color in the flower boxes, but for some reason they just made the blue very, very, very light. But we are working on the backyard of our build, and I have a pool back here with a lot of these purple hydrangea like hedgerow bushes surrounding it. These hedgerow bushes are from Royalty and Legacy. I absolutely love these. I was so excited when I seen these were coming out with the pack, you know, because I love the hydrangeas. I always use the hydrangeas in the game, and so when I seen they were adding them in hedgerow form, I was super excited. And I just love, like I said in my last video, the hydrangeas in Royalty and Legacy are just so much better than the base game ones. I'm sticking with the same purple theme with a lot of the different decorations and details in this backyard. Not so much inside of the house, but on the exterior of the house, I pretty much stick with the purple theme. So we have the water slide in purple, we have these umbrellas over the lounge chairs in purple, and same with the patio table with the umbrella on top. And I just love the way that this backyard turned out. I think it is so pretty. I also added a little gate to be able to access the side of the house. Since this is a corner lot, I felt like it would have been missed if I didn't do that. It's one of my favorite parts about building on corner lots, is to be able to have that second access to the side of the house. I also added some porch lights on the back porch. Those are from Toddler Stuff, and I absolutely love those. It just makes it look so pretty on like the porch or the patio, wherever you have them. Sometimes I'll even put them along the outer like privacy fence just for like some extra like fun detail, and it turns out so cute. I don't think I did it on this build. I may have, but I just don't remember, but I don't think I did. I think I just left them on the patio just for like a small little fun detail instead of it being too much. And then the basketball hoop in the front yard on the garage, I just want to let you guys know that that does in fact work. I did pull a sim into this build just to test that. Well, that and everything else, but that was a specific thing I really wanted to test because I wasn't 100% sure if it was gonna work. I kind of have it shifted up a couple notches, and so I wasn't sure, but it does work. It might look like your sim kind of misses the hoop, but not too bad. It'll look like they miss when they actually don't miss, but it's not too bad. It just kind of clips in with the rim. But you should be able to tell the difference still, so it's not too bad. It just looked so much better that way. If you don't shift it up a couple notches, then it clips with the garage door, and I cannot stand that. I like it to be up higher than the garage door. Obviously, a lot more realistic that way. And I am pretty sure I used the swatch that makes the basketball hoop look really used. Like, it has like scrapes and scratches on the outside of it. And I just think that is such a fun swatch because it makes it, you know, look like it's actually being used by the kids or the family that lives here. And I just think it's so fun to have that little detail. So we are taking a break on the outside for now. I am not done with it, obviously. There's still a lot to do, but I have the main part of it done, and I have a really good idea of the Sims that are living in this house. And so we are now working on the interior, and I have the floor plan pretty much done besides the upstairs. I have the downstairs done. And so when you first walk in, there's like a little entry room that I just make like a second living room basically. I don't remember exactly. I think I put a piano in there is what I do. And then like a little sitting chair and a little sitting area. And then if you keep going, you walk into the dining room, which kind of branches off into two sides. One side has the kitchen and a little breakfast nook, which the breakfast nook, guys, turns out so cute. I can't wait for you to see it. I have like a 2-seater chair in there, mainly for decoration or maybe for like a little special dinner or brunch or something like that. It turned out really cute, and I have it up on a couple different platforms so you can really see the table in the window when you look from the front of the house. It just looks so pretty to me. And then on the other side, I have the hallway where you can go into the garage or the bathroom on the main part of the house, which is also a laundry room. And then there's also the living room on that side as well. All of the bedrooms are on the second story. I do that in most of my builds. If I have any bedrooms downstairs, I try to make it the master just because it seems more realistic that way. But of course, sometimes the floor plan does what the floor plan wants, and you have to do another room downstairs. But I do really like to make them either all upstairs or at least all of the spares upstairs, and then the master will be down. But like I said, in this build, we have every single bedroom upstairs. I am working on the little breakfast nook I was just talking about, and I just really wanted to make this area look super cute and almost romantic in a way. It almost seems romantic. Maybe the parents like to have their special anniversary dinners here, or maybe if one of them invites their mom or dad over, they have brunch here just for a little sweet moment with them, you know, just something. It's not used all the time, basically, is what I'm getting at. It's definitely just used for special moments. And the table and chair set that I'm using is actually from one of the recent kits. I think it's the Tea Time Solarium kit. And I know kits are not favorited by most of us, but honestly, some of them, they do have some pretty good, cute stuff in there. So I tend to use the kits a lot, and this build is no different. I also try to do limited pack builds a lot, but sometimes I like to build with all of the packs that I have. Of course, don't let that deter you from downloading this house and playing in it if you do like it, because it will just replace any items you don't have, and it might have some missing items, but that just gives you the opportunity to really customize it to your own liking anyways. Like, I kind of see it as like a blessing in disguise sort of situation, you know? I mean, at least that's my optimistic way of looking at it. And by the way, if you ever download my house that I build and you customize it to your own liking and you want to post it on the gallery, feel free to. I really don't mind at all. I know some people mind, and there'll be people on there that's like, oh, you copied this. Well, guys, guess what? I don't care. And so I would want to do the same thing. If I took my time to redo a house that I downloaded, I would want to save it to my gallery. So feel free to do that. I get asked sometimes if I mind, and just know that I don't. So feel free to do what you want with the houses that I build. I don't always look at my hashtag on the gallery, but sometimes I do. So if you do want me to see something that I built and you redesigned, feel free to tag me in it. I may or may not see it, and I do love to see people redo my builds if I do take time to look my hashtag. It's always fun, but just know I may not see it, but just wanted to let you guys know if that's something you wanted to do, feel free to. I am now doing the floor plan upstairs, and like I was saying just a moment ago, I have all of the bedrooms upstairs as well as the other 2 bathrooms. Well, now that I'm looking at it, I think I actually have 4 bathrooms up here. Well, 3 up here and 1 downstairs. So I guess there's actually a total of 4 bathrooms in this house. I thought it was 3, but I forgot that I added 3 upstairs because that's just how the floor plan went. So yeah, plenty of bathrooms in this house. Your Sims will not have any accidents. So that's always a plus. And it's such a large family anyways. You kind of need a lot of bathrooms when you have this many Sims in a house. I'm finally changing the color on the exterior of the house from the green to the beige. I did really like the green, don't get me wrong, but once I put the beige on the outside, I thought it just looked a lot better. It matched the house and the decorations outside and the flowers and stuff a lot better than the green. The green just seemed to clash a little bit, but I do love the green though. The green's always fun to use. That green I think is my favorite of the panelings. As far as like the green swatches go, the thicker paneling has like a light green, which is fun and nice, but I really enjoy that darker green that the skinnier paneling has. But sometimes it just doesn't work, and so yeah, ultimately I decided it didn't work with this house and I put the beige paneling instead, which is one of my favorites. I love the blues, I love the yellows, the beiges, and like the greens. Those are like my go-tos. I never use the orange or the red, to be honest, or even really the pink, unless I'm doing like a special sort of build. Sometimes I'll use the pink. It's fun to use sometimes, but it's definitely not on my go-to list like the others are. And there is white too, but I don't use that very often either. I find the white a little bit boring, and a lot of the time it makes it look too white because I do so much white trim. So yeah, we are in the living room now. I have these couches are from one of the maker kits I did, guys. I cracked, once I seen these couches, I had to get them because look at how cute they are. I cracked and I got one of the maker kits. I can't remember, I think it's whichever one is like the one that's inspired by like books or libraries or something like that. That's the one I got because I fell in love with these couches. And if you guys are a returning viewer, then you know something I complain a lot of is not having a lot of couches in the game, especially matching couches, like a matching love seat and 3-seater sofa. We lack a lot of. And so when I seen this set, that's the main reason, and really the only reason I even got that maker kit, because I loved those couches. And I've already used them a couple of times, I'm not gonna lie. But like I said earlier, any objects you don't have will just be replaced with like base game items or items from another pack that you do have. I also included a little like playpen for the infant in the living room. I do that a lot in a lot of my builds, especially if the infant's room is upstairs. I like to have a second playpen crib, particularly the crib that looks like the playpen, you know, kind of like realistically. And I like to put it in the living room just for an easier access of being able to put the infant down for like a nap, because they have to have naps like every couple hours here in The Sims, and it just makes it so much easier gameplay wise, and it makes it look cute too. It definitely makes it look like a family lives here and a very family oriented household. And then I also included a little infant's mat in the living room too with some blocks. That infant's mat has actually recently been added in the game. It was a recent base game update, and I was really excited when I seen those. I thought it was super cute, and we desperately needed more infant mats anyways. Like, we had just the one from Growing Together. I'm pretty sure it was just Growing Together, right? And it wasn't a base game feature. I could be wrong, like I am a lot of the time. I'm wrong a lot, guys, if we're being totally honest. But I want to say that the playmat for the infant was strictly for Growing Together, and now we have one for base game, so that's fun. Oh, and we also had one in one of the kits, like the Storybook Nursery kit had one, but it's always fun to have one in the actual base game so everybody has access to it. And I really like the ones that they added. They're more neutral than the ones from Growing Together, so you can use them in a lot more rooms without being too colorful if neutral is more your thing, and that's fun. Especially since I like to put them in a lot of my living rooms. Now I don't have to have a random like hot pink or lion themed playmat. I can have one that's more neutral that actually matches the living room, you know? It just looks more aesthetically pleasing for The Sims. I know in real life, you're probably gonna have the fun option. You're probably gonna have the one that's like zoo animal themed for your baby or like ocean animal themed, you know, but in The Sims, I like things to look aesthetically pleasing and actually match each other, and so I really like that. And you have the option between the two, like I was saying, so it just makes it better to be able to have the option to make a bright, colorful family build or maybe a more neutral one. And so yeah, having options is always great. But we're in the master bedroom now, and I was talking about the couches downstairs being from one of the maker kits. Well, I have a confession, guys. That wasn't the only one that I got. I also had to get another one that had this bedroom set, and I can't remember this one either, to be totally honest, but you'll be able to find it easy because there's really not that many out as far as like the building maker kits go. There's a lot of Create a Sim maker kits, but I seen this bedroom set and I fell in love with that too because I don't know why I'm like this, but I am. And I just really wanted more bedroom sets in The Sims, and how cute is that bed? I just couldn't not get it, and so I ended up getting it, and that is what I'm using in the master bedroom. I'm sorry, I don't regret it though because I do really like it. I definitely don't recommend getting any of the maker kits or the regular kits if you don't like it, but if you genuinely like it, then get it. I mean, you know, what? It's fine. And while we're on the subject, I also got one of the dining room kits too, but that's the only ones I got. I only got like 3 of them, I think. I'm weak, guys, what can I say? But look how cute that bedroom set is. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. The rug with the bed and the ottoman in front of the bed, the whole bedroom set is from that maker kit. I also have a little keyboard in there just for something to be under that window. I felt like it was a little bit blank, and maybe one of the parents in this house really enjoys playing the piano because not only do they have a keyboard in their room, but they also have a piano in that additional like area right by the front door. And off to the side, they have the balcony in the backyard is just the parents' private balcony, so to speak. I do put one of those sneak out windows from high school years in the teens room that's right there, and I figured he likes to sneak out at night and be like a bad teenager and he uses his window to sneak out onto the back balcony, and I also put one of the lattice ladders out there so that he's able to climb down that. I really enjoy that storytelling thing. It reminds me of The Sims 2 and I absolutely love it, but it's really honestly the parents' private balcony. So the teenager is really testing the waters on that and is really taking a chance of being caught when sneaking out. But that adds to the fun, to be honest. But in the parents' room, when you walk out of the balcony, in that little room just before you walk out, they do have like a little office space. They have a computer desk with a computer on top of it, and then they have a couple of like little cat items because I figured this house has a cat or 2. So there's the 2 parents and then 4 kids. So that's 6 Sims. You're able to have 2 additional pets in your household, and I figured they had like 2 cats, but you could totally do a cat and a dog or whatever it is you want to do. So I figured since we have so many bathrooms in this house, I'm creating this one more for the teen boy than anybody else. I figured this might be his personal bathroom, and so I'm using that really cute guitar rug from Parenthood. I never get to use this swatch. I use this rug a lot, but not necessarily this swatch, and so it was so fun to use in this one. I finally was able to have the opportunity to do so. And then I added like a black robe in there and that mirror that has the different stickers. I think it's from high school years. I can't quite remember, but I think it was. And it's just so fun to do bathrooms for particular Sims in a house, maybe all children or for a particular gender or maybe just for the teenager like I did here. It's just always so fun to do that. And I don't always get the chance since I build my houses and I don't always include so many bathrooms, but this one, you know, like I said, there's 4, so there's more than enough, and I definitely took the opportunity to do a specific theme in that bathroom. And we are now working on the teen's bedroom, so I figured he was really into like video gaming and he also loves to play different musical instruments, and I put a couple of guitars in his room, and I tried to make his bedroom look very teen boyish, so we have a lot of posters everywhere of all different sorts of things, and I also put some like records on his wall. Obviously he is not from the generation of records, but he maybe got some from his parents. They gave them to him and he doesn't have a record player, so he just used them as like decorations on his wall. I feel like teens are really good about putting different random things on their wall, you know? I did that as a teenager and a lot of my friends did too, and of course endless posters everywhere. I also put a couple of like empty soda cans next to his bed. I felt like that was a very teen thing to do too. Now, if you download this, those soda cans might become stinky after a while, so you might have to clean them up, but as for the build, I just really like that realistic storytelling aspect of like a teen being a teen and just leaving endless soda cans on the side of his bed. Like he might have drank those the day before and he never cleaned them up. Maybe his parents will go in there and clean them up finally. And I don't know, I just think that's a fun little detail. And you might have seen that I did a little bit of a jump. So I did put a punching bag in the teen's room, but then my sim was not able to use the window to like crawl out of. And so I ended up deleting that and just putting a plant there instead. And I just cut that part out. It was too long. It was not necessary to keep in the build. So I just put a plant there instead. And I did make sure that window was functional with the curtain on there and all of the stuff outside of the window. I usually build with move objects on, but I turned it off for a split second to make sure all of the items that I put in front of the window did not make the window unusable. So yeah, just in case you were wondering why there was a little bit of a jump there, that's what you missed. So you didn't really miss anything. Nothing worth seeing anyways. And I went ahead and decorated not only the balcony on the top story, but the little porch underneath it as well on the first story of the house. And on the parents' balcony, I just put a little lounging area. Well, on both I put a little lounging area, but I did make them look different at least, and they're not exactly the same. The one on the bottom I kept with the purple theme, and those love seats were actually from Seasons, and I don't use them very often, so it was fun to use in this build. And then I put a little drink tray on the coffee table in between them. And the one upstairs, the parents' private one, I used the set from Perfect Patio Stuff, I believe, and I did green. I don't know, they didn't really have a purple swatch, and I thought green kind of matched the house, and it had like brown in it and stuff, and I thought it was just really cute and broke up all of the purple a little bit, just enough. And that's all I really did on both the balcony and the porch. Just a little lounging area, nothing too special. There's not really any functional items out there unless you have your Sims just like sitting and chilling and hanging out. The main thing you can use the top balcony for is for your teen to sneak out of, to be totally honest. I am just about done with the first child's room, and I did this one for a little girl, obviously. I have that bed from Snowy Escape, I believe it's from, no, High School Years. And I don't use that particular swatch very often. I did the one with the little anime character on there. I thought it was super cute. And then I put a mental table in there as well as a little creativity table for a couple of skill building items. And I also put one of those like play doctor sets in there. That is from Parenthood. I don't use those almost ever. I tend to forget about them, to be totally honest, and I don't know why, because that's like such a fun little storytelling thing, and they can actually, I don't know if they can raise their skill, but I know that they can raise one of their character values. I can't remember which one. I want to say it's the empathy one. I could be wrong, so feel free to correct me if I am. But you can raise something with that doctor set. So there is an actual gameplay feature tied to it, which is nice, and it's not just for fun, but I think it also raises your fun need as well. But nonetheless, they can play with it, and it's super cute, and I just always forget about it, so I'm really glad that I seen it in the catalog for this build, and I put it out in the kids' room. And I also got the other kids' room done as well. I figured that one was for a little boy that loved sports. He loves to play basketball with his older brother outside, and if his older brother doesn't want to play, then he always just plays with one of his friends or his sister. His sister's not very good at it, but it's someone to play with at least. And I also put a creativity table in there as well, just for an additional skill building item in his room. I also did one of those butterfly nets, or like butterfly or caterpillar exhibits from Adventure Awaits, just for like an additional little fun thing to do in his room. He just seems very outdoorsy to me. And by the way, the football and soccer ball that is on his dresser, those are both functional. You'll have to like put it in his inventory or drag it outside, but your Sims are actually able to play with both of those. I thought it was a fun little decoration, but I mainly put it there for you guys to be able to use if you download this. And I also got the infant's room done upstairs as well. I went ahead and furnished it for a little girl. You could totally redo it for whichever gender you want it for, or maybe gender neutral if you're not sure. But I found that wallpaper from one of the kits. I always forget the name of it, but it's the one that Plumbella did and has all of the cute objects in there, and very feminine, very girly, and very cute. And one of the swatches has like strawberries and stuff, and I absolutely love it. And it has pink and green, like a lime green almost. It's super, super cute. And so that is what I ended up using in the infant's room. And then I put a little toy box in there. Of course, I put another infant's mat in there because that's like the main thing that the infant can use. And then some more little toy blocks. Obviously a crib and changing table as well. All of the necessary stuff you need for the infant you can find in their room. I went ahead and decorated the hallway upstairs too. Very self-explanatory. I just put some like rugs up there, and then I put a little cat tree because that's like the best place I could find to put it, and some pictures on the wall. Some of just empty frames so you can put pictures of your family in there, and then I also put some with actual pictures in there already, if I'm not mistaken. And that's it for the hallway upstairs. In the entry room downstairs, I have the piano that I was talking about. I also put some bookcases and an ottoman right by the front door with some mirrors above it, a coat rack. I just tried to make it look very realistic to an actual foyer in real life. So one of the parents, I didn't really think which one, whichever one you guys decide, as well as the teenager, are both very musically inclined, and I like to think that they enjoy playing piano downstairs kind of together, and maybe one of the parents taught the teenager how to play the piano, and from there he developed an interest in guitar as well. just a cute little storyline or a cute little detail for the family that lives here. And that bathroom downstairs that I just did is also a laundry room. It's kind of a 2-in-1. That's really the best place I found for the washer and dryer. I could have added it here in the garage as well, but I always tend to do that, and I really wanted to make the garage an at-home gym, and so I ended up just putting the washer and dryer in that bathroom downstairs. I figured it was fine. I don't know how realistic it is. I've never seen a washer and dryer in a bathroom, to be honest, but this is The Sims, so you can make it as realistic as possible, but at the end of the day, how realistic can it really be? So we are working on the garage now, and I went ahead and added a bike for every single Sim in the house. Not the infant, obviously, but from the children up, everybody that can ride a bike, I went ahead and added a bike in the garage. I just thought that was such a cute detail. It looks like this is a family that really loves to ride bikes together. I don't know. Just something to fill up the garage. And I tried to add a bunch of realistic things that you would find in a garage here in the garage. So we have a couple of storage boxes. We have a little like shelf that has a lot of laundry items like towels, blankets, whatever you'll find for a laundry room is on that shelf. And I added some dog and cat food bags. I was thinking just cats live in this house, but for some reason I added some dog food in there too. Who knows? And then a treadmill as well as like a weightlifting machine. Oh, and I also added a generator. That is something you'll find in a lot of garages. I know we have one in ours. Is a generator, and I just find that a really fun touch to do. I don't really know of any circumstance in The Sims that you'll really need the generator for unless you want to just run it to make your bills cheaper, but then you have to like, I don't know, do you pay for gas for the generator in The Sims? I know it kind of destroys the eco footprint in The Sims, but I don't know if you have to pay for the gas. But it does make your bills cheaper if I'm not mistaken, so if you want to run it, you can, but I did it really just for decoration, to be honest. But that is it for the inside of the house. We're all done furnishing the inside, and I am now finishing up the exterior of the house, the landscaping, and all of the functional items that I put in the backyard. I do include a little modular playground. Well, no, instead of the modular playground, I did the individual playground items, like the slide that you actually climb the ladder for, as well as a swing set and some monkey bars. I thought that was a fun little change instead of the modular playground. I tend to do those a lot now since we have them in game. I find them so fun to do and so cute too. But I did want to change it up a little bit, so I just did the individual items back in that little corner. I also end up adding some garden planter boxes on the right side of the house, right next to those stepstones. And in the front yard, you'll see me add some garden planter boxes and then delete them. And then I also at first add some monkey bars out in the front yard too, because I thought it looked a little bit too empty out there, but then the more I thought about it, I really enjoyed the fact that it looked a little bit empty and there was a lot of grassy area. It seemed a lot more realistic to me. And like I said in the very beginning of the video, I don't do that a lot, and so it was a fun change to have a really big grassy area. And I'm not sure if you guys noticed or not, you may have, but I never really mentioned it. The fence in the front of the house, I have one that kind of not really meets the sidewalk, but as far as you can go. And then I have the other side back a little bit. And I don't know, I just really liked that detail. I thought it made it look kind of cool out there and different. And in that little area that is in front of the fence, that's back more, it has a lot of grass right there. Oh yeah, I'm doing it now. So I ended up adding a recycle bin or like a trash bin out here with the mailbox next to it, and then I put a sidewalk under it, and then I put some hydrangeas on both sides. I thought it looked really pretty. I really like that detail. And of course a tree next to it. For some reason I like to add trees in the front of my builds. It just makes it look more lively and detailed and realistic, and I like it. And so yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I may or may not, in the thumbnail and screenshots at the end, have a planter garden pot underneath the mailbox with some flowers in it. I really wanted to add that detail because I thought it looked really cute, but then it made my mailbox not functional, so I did delete that. So what you see now with the mailbox just chilling there without anything underneath it on top of the sidewalk, I don't know how realistic it is, but that's what I did. That's how it does end up staying for what you download on the gallery. And last but not least, I am just doing the terrain paint. I'm doing it how I always do it. I do like a layer of the dying grass, very, very light layer of that, and then I do just the garden soil over that layer of dying grass. I feel like it looks a little bit more realistic that way and blends a little bit better. And that's it. That is the build for today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Of course, if you did, please don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe if you have not already, and comment down below what your favorite part of today's build was. Also, share it with your friends if they are Simmers as well, and if you think that they would enjoy it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I had so much fun, and I hope you guys did as well. I hope you all have an amazing day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye guys!